Welcome to In Our Community. I'm Suzanne Barnett, your host. And tonight, I really always say this, but this time, this program is going to be so hot. And I say hot instead of cool because I think hot is a lot more. Anyway, we have two very, very prominent guests. We have Mark Isaac Potter, and we have Dave Kokerchek.
Oh, that's good. Just keep rolling.
Perfect.
That's fine.
Just
leave it.
This is like live TV.
Yeah. Just
but I
leave
like
it.
this. This is
This
cool.
is good. Yeah,
because
keep going.
We're talking
Okay.
reality.
Yes,
here.
yes.
One of the,
Should we keep going?
Keep going.
I got this
Okay.
on purpose because I didn't want to spill it.
it's like we're here. What are we here to talk about tonight, Suzanne?
Poetry.
Poetry.
But
Who's poetry?
especially,
Mark's poetry.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
his poetry has some reality to it. So this is very cool because it's just
perfect.
exactly what's going on.
Well, the wonderful thing about what we do, cable TV, is that whatever happens is very significant because it's totally unplanned.
That's right.
Thank God. Anyway, Mark Isaac Potter is definitely a polymath person, and I just looked it up, and it's a synonym for the Renaissance man. And Mark is producer of this show. You have been a famous speaker. You are a Zen student. You teach classes. You do so many good things for the community. And rather than keep talking about all the things that you do, because I think that gets boring. And we've already said you're a Renaissance man, and I'm going to find out about Dave in a minute. So tell us about your poetry. How did you get started?
well, the poetry I'm going to read tonight is a little different than what I've done in the past. This poetry is based on two schools of thought in literature and in art. One is absurdism and the other is surrealism. These two schools are somewhat linked together. I hadn't done a lot of research on the background of those, so I went on Wikipedia and looked up absurdism, and it said that Soren Kierkegaard, who's a famous philosopher, kind of built the philosophical foundation upon which Camus and Sartre built existentialism, and that's one of the ways that absurdism came into being. Surrealism is seen more, it's more commonly known in art, as in painting art. The best example for everybody is Salvador Dali. His art is surreal. But we're seeing now, because we're looking at like 60 years of this going on or longer, we see this in many different authors who don't regard themselves necessarily as absurdists or surrealists, but they put a few things in. Like I'm reading a book now by a Dutch author, Cees Nooteboom, and his book, The Following Story. Yeah, I had to practice. His book, The Following Story, has someone wake up in, thousands of miles from where they went to bed, and in a room that something in their life had happened previously. And this is like, of course, Kirk Vonnegut used to do the same thing with his character Billy Pilgrim. So that's what's going on tonight, is I'm going to read poems that have absurdism in them, that have surrealism in them.
How many poems have you written in your life, Mark?
Oh my God, I don't know.
A lot.
Certainly hundreds, but I mean, they're not all, some things you can just put to bed and bury them, and they'll be.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. And this set of poems, the first set, and we'll just read a few from each group. The title of this manuscript is Somewhere a Telephone Booth is Jumping to Its Death. And the first poem of the night is called Begin. There is an unusually tall man with no arms. I really mean it. His arms, all the way up to the shoulders, are long gone. Whether it was a war or an industrial accident, each day at 4:56 p.m., he walks to the shop to watch his wife finish her work for the day. He watches her through the window while he stands on the sidewalk. She finishes her last manicure or pedicure, or on a good day, finishes dyeing a head of red hair. She takes off her bright smock and hangs it up. She turns to the other ladies, both workers and the last remaining customers, careful to wish all a pleasant evening.
That's it?
Yes, the endings of these are usually abrupt,
Okay.
and it's that way on purpose.
But it makes me want to hear more.
Yes, well, there's other ones here.
No, but I mean about that.
So
Dave, what do you think?
I was going to ask Mark a question. So you had mentioned at the beginning there is a title for this grouping.
Yes.
And is it like chapters in a book or sequential type things?
Actually, the way this manuscript got formed, it was 3 different very short manuscripts. And that's how the next book is coming out. So that seems to be the way I'm doing things lately. So one of the other manuscripts was entitled, Did you say Strawberries? And the other one, I can't remember the title. So it just, when I got them all put together, it was hundreds of pages. Mm-hmm. And of course, then you go through the difficult work of saying, well, this one's unsalvageable. This one might be okay, and you work through it.
So each poem is its own work. It's a standalone thing, and it's not necessarily flows into the next one like a chapter in a book.
No, not cool. Definitely not in this manuscript, and I don't think in any of mine that I've done. So.
Excuse me, Mark. How did you get the idea for this?
I was, in this poem, I was really concerned about war, soldiers, what they go through, how we treat them when they get home, and it just upsets me greatly. There's no reason we should be treating them the way we do, and I wanted to say something that was simple, that wasn't judgmental, but yet kind of leave a little droplet of, this is what people go through. Something very simple. William Carlos Williams used to write the simplest poems, and this is what I was trying to do in an absurdist way, is write something very simple. So,
okay. Please continue.
Okay, this one, there's a couple in here that are especially absurdist. This one helped me start something which is pretty new, called The Literature of the Disconnected. And it comes from the idea that we in life, things happen, like I reach for this and it spills. Things are always not what we thought they were going to be. They're always different. There's always an interruption. Mm-hmm. And so I'm working on that way of writing and actually accentuating that. So this piece has a lot of parts in it that do not seem to relate to each other, and that's more common in my work lately. It's called Buick Backstory. Buick Backstory. This pie tin is delightful. It helps me get the kitchen work done, acting as a lid for the saucepan and a side plate for my slices of bread. I am damaged. There, I said it. The pre-made mashed potatoes, the somewhat carefully drained can of corn, and the various dollops of margarine. As I am writing this to you, the 3 items that I just mentioned burn, more than slightly, in a saucepan. There is a little meat. It could be meat for soup, or at best, gravy. I am in love with the writing of Natalie Surratt, especially her book, Here, and more especially her book, Tropisms. My learning is all handmade. Therefore, when I walk down the street, I feel odd. I am embarrassed when cars have to wait for me at a crosswalk. The retired fisherman with broken hands knows more about poetry than I ever will. Regarding the baskets of fruit at the farmer's market, the fruit is not now in a basket and has never been in any basket. I have to pour my heart out in a way that is neither artistic nor desirable. Claude Simone's triptych is an older brother whom I never knew. He had a separate mother and a separate father. The shiny copper finish of that 1959 Buick Electra is not a skin. Instead, the machine looks wondrously sculpted.
I see.
I'm a cigarette smoker, so I cough a lot. Go ahead.
I see quite a change, Mark.
From the previous shows we've done?
Yeah, in your
Okay.
poetry.
Okay.
And Dave, you're a producer.
Right.
And how do you feel about, because, you know, we've all been friends for ages.
I think the thing that's important for people who are watching the show, and we actually have a live studio audience here, which is really awesome. And but I think the thing that's important to understand is that art is individually understood and interpreted. So when the poem that Mark that you just read, and you had given me the opportunity to see it once before, and I read this and I said, I don't get this.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But that's okay, because I don't necessarily have to get it. Somebody here, they could totally relate to at least parts of it. And I think that's the beauty of this kind of work, because and correct me if I go wrong here, Mark, but you're not trying to communicate or impart a specific something to a specific type of individual in what you do. This is a creativity from your soul,
Yeah.
and it has meaning beyond the words.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully it's experiential. Hopefully it does something experiential.
Right.
How do you mean by that?
We do the same thing in Zen. We try to create a moment using words when someone experiences their life differently. And especially if we can get someone to jump out of their thoughts and realize that each of us is more than our thoughts. But that's hard to do. So, yeah.
Okay, do another one, please.
Okay. This one's called Blue Shirt. The best, and by that I mean a blue shirt, obviously well worn, a few respectable stains. The quite durable fabric is worn thin, almost clear through in a few places. For example, the elbows upon which Gunther sits all day, elbows on this desk, head in his hands doing nothing. Or maybe instead of nothing, he stares at the food his secretary brought him. Or he is staring at the brown bagged lunch that his wife brought him. Or he is commiserating with the likes of the Chinese food that his 17-year-old daughter brought him between her ballet lesson and her date with young John Mallingsley. You see, Gunther wonders. He does not wonder in accordance with any set of rules or pattern or habit. He does not follow Zen or Christianity. He does not buy lottery tickets or read Weldon Keys late at night under a burnt-out street lamp. He just wonders. And yes, he does his work as an IT person so well, he is completely irreplaceable and can get a job anywhere. So both his sister, and additionally his wife, and then also his secretary, and yet additionally his daughter, All 4 of these ladies do not dare have him locked up and the key thrown in a raging river in the northern mountains of China. He simply wonders. And yet for them it is disconcerting. Even poetry, even if he could write poetry, it would be a relief. Oftentimes his wife has envied other wives who complain that their husbands waste time watching football. The terrible herd of Carolina chickadees just outside his window are wishing that he would become their leader.
That's my favorite.
Oh, thank you, honey.
I can kind of relate to it. It's like free association.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How do you get these ideas to write? How does it happen?
There's a poem about that actually, but it just happens. It just comes to me. The initial idea literally just arrives, almost always, and my job is just to capture it. So a lot of poems don't get captured because I'm, stepping off the bus or spilling coffee on my lap or something, but usually, yeah, it's just comes to me and I capture it.
May I ask you a personal question?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that your life has really changed where you are now.
Yeah.
Do you think that has affected your poetry? I mean, I'm not going to ask about your life, but your poetry.
No. But these poems were written between 2011 and 2014.
Oh, okay.
So this is before most of the changes now. As you guys may or may not know, I live in a group home now because I have mental illness. So I like to be upfront about that. But most of these happened before that.
So when I'd like to interject a question, Mark, if I may, and Suzanne, and you had mentioned early on about absurdism and surrealism, and that being an element of the art form.
Right.
When was it that started to? I don't know if you were attracted to it, and that your writing was deliberately moved in that direction, or if you felt an inspiration, or how did that come about?
Well, good question. I've been studying absurdism and surrealism by reading authors who use it for decades. But before this manuscript, I was very attracted to William Carlos Williams, who is not an absurdist, not a surrealist, who writes very, very, very simple poems. That his mission was to make sure that the average person could understand his poetry. One of his most famous pieces is something about chickens and a wheelbarrow. It's just a few lines. So I wrote like that for many years, and I brought one section like that, which is not what I want to focus on necessarily, but I brought it in case we need it. So, but I've always been reading, Camus and Robbe-Grillet and Claude Simon and Natalie Surratt and Amélie Nothomb and these people who write this way. And I just wanted to beef it up. I wanted something exciting. And I can always go back in the next manuscript if I feel like it. I just wanted something a little more challenging. So that's why I did it.
How did that last poem affect you, Dave?
I'm not sure how to answer that. I find, as we're sitting here and listening, that I am attentive to what is being said. Maybe that's not the right approach to it or something. I should just kind of let stuff happen. But I'm trying to hear what the words are and what the feeling is. The way you're reading it has something to do with it too. Because you could sit there and just read the words, and it's like speed read, and you wouldn't get the same kind of impact as it coming out verbally with the kind of added context of the sound of the voice and the emotion that's in the voice. And I thought it was a very enjoyable poem. I liked it. I thought, hey, this is like most people. They don't necessarily. the world you live in and the world you want to live in are not necessarily the same thing, and that's sort of what that poem said to me.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that really intrigues me about Mark, because I've known Mark for a number of years, and I admire you so much, Mark. And I don't think I know anyone that has had such a difficult life. And
I do. And a whole bunch of people. The people who live
Well-
in the same group home I do.
Well, in my experience.
Yeah.
But the fact that how you have dealt with your life,
Okay.
and I don't mean to sound Pollyanna-ish, but
No, I understand.
it's really tough. And what this has done, I think it's made you focus on whatever's going on. Like, I kind of see you as a tortured soul. No, I
Okay.
do.
Okay.
Which
good.
I think is...
That's why I take so much headache medication, I'm sure.
But Suzanne, that gives me a question, because I know, and for you, Mark, and for both of you, and that is that sometimes, songwriters or painters or whatever, they have this feeling, this emotion, whatever it is that's inside them,
Yeah.
that they're frustrated, and they put that on the canvas,
That's
or
right.
they put that in the music,
Yeah.
and you listen to Rachmaninoff or somebody, and man,
Yes,
that guy was
yes.
pissed off about something every now and again. But you wonder. So my
love
question is,
Rachmaninoff.
to what degree are the writings, the poetry that you've been creating here, coming from that kind of a space versus
Well,
a more of a cerebral space?
To be succinct, so I can get back to these, there's about 4 or 5 things in my life that literally I feel like have saved my life. One of them is writing. I've been writing since I was 15, which is 45, 50 years ago. So it really makes a difference. And even if I write something that will never see the light of day, it certainly helps. So, yeah. So let me write.
Yeah.
Did
read
that
this.
answer my question?
I hope so.
Okay.
That's all the answer you're going to get, Holmes.
Okay.
Can you feel me? A visit to the movies. I am reminded there is not anything left. I read the word can't, C-A-N-T. Not a contraction, but apparently a different word. But I have not looked it up. Would someone please grab me a soft drink out of the refrigerator? There must be an unusual animal or bird that can take my mind off this. I am thankful for my own life, my own chance. So many people now are actually living in tent cities out of sight. Part 2. No one bothers to remember that it was actually Harrison Ford, not President Thomas Jefferson, who made the Louisiana Purchase at all likely and then possible and then a fait accompli. Even 73-year-old barbers know better. As I lean my neck back, hoping he will give me a nice trim and a decent shave, a young man of questionable dancing or prancing ability apparently sees the object of his romantic focus, and this starts him moving in a small arc, albeit a story arc, like a wounded fawn, like a football player whose best play of the season is ruined by bad officiating. Someone says something to me, something about the manner in which I put out my cigarettes. I then go into a long diatribe, very gently and diplomatically worded, as to how carefully and thoughtfully I put out each cigarette butt, even being careful to literally erase from the sidewalk the markings that putting a cigarette butt out carefully make on the concrete surface. And then, of course, I place the cigarette butt in a special pouch that I carry with me, just the way a person in the city picks up their dog's excrement with a small baggie. The word can't, as it turns out, has so many meanings that I would not even want to begin. Or was it Tom Hanks? Yeah, it may have been Tom Hanks. Over in Paris anyway to shoot that movie about Christ, having like a whole family and his descendants are among us selling Amway. Apparently Tom attended a party given by Ben Franklin for the success of his play, Ben Franklin in Paris, and the subject of selling that wilderness in the New World came up. Tom offered to write a check on the spot, but Ben, knowing the propriety of things, whispered to Mr. Hanks that they should make it look as though the colony's government had purchased the acreage. Tom followed through as requested.
Well, we have 2 minutes left.
Oh, yipes.
How do you think that poem came over, Dave?
This is one of the ones that Mark had shown me before, and I read it and I said,
Oh.
I don't get this. You know, which is, but again, it's a good thing, I think. The thing that I like about it is it just bounces all over the place. It's sort of like physics, you know, the randomness of things.
But you know what I think, as I do in a lot of other types of art, but I think poetry is so intimate because it really, I mean, of course, it's in the ears of the hearing that it's kind of revealing.
Okay.
And all I can say is that I really care so much about you, Mark. I think you are an unbelievable person. And I'm honored to interview you.
Thank you.
And Dave, you're a hot guy too.
I try. Thank you, Suzanne.
His wife is here, you know.
Oh, really?
No,
yeah.
that's not true.
She's got a Derringer. She's in the back.
That's one of his new poems. He just put
About
on
your
because
wife.
that has nothing to do with
Yeah.
reality either.
But,
Yeah.
but anyway, you're a fabulous person too.
Thank you, Suzanne.
And the name of your show is Reference Point.
Correct.
Anyway, I want to thank both of you. This was a joy. It really was.
You do. Thank you.
And I want to thank our
Thank you very
audience
much.
too for being here. And of course, absolutely the most important people are the crew. So I thank you.
Yeah.
And I have to say this is the other audience. Thank you for watching, and I cannot wait to see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.